Hello and welcome to Gentle Yoga with Tanya. I'm Tanya. Thank you so much for joining me today. A few things before we get started on our practice. I always have on hand a thin blanket or towel that you can fold up. Today I also have my giant pillow that I'm going to use during Shavasana, but also might come in handy during some of our other poses. So if you do have something that's nice and cushiony that you want to have on hand, go ahead and maybe grab that. And the blanket I like to use just sometimes when we're doing seated poses. It just gives a nice little extra layer of comfort under your hips, and we might be able to use it in a few other places as well. So if you do have something handy, now would be a great time to go grab it. Also, we are going to be transitioning to some standing poses today and some standing breathing. So if transitioning from seated to standing is something that can be a balance situation for you, you may want to make sure that you have a sturdy chair nearby or just some blocks or something that will help you make that transition as safely as possible. So, as you can see, I'm sitting here in just an easy cross-legged pose. If that works for you, please join me in this way. And we're going to begin this morning with just some gentle breaths. So let's just start. My hands are nice and relaxed on my knees. You can hold them palms up or palms down, whichever works for you. We're just going to breathe here, just letting my eyes close if it's okay for you. And just breathing. You can even bring one hand to your belly button if you want and just notice the action of your abdomen as you inhale and exhale. That gentle rise on the inhale and that slow deflation on the exhale. Right, nice and easy. Let your other hand come up to your heart. And just notice. And while we're taking our breaths here and you're noticing just the little things about what your body is doing, how your body is feeling, and notice your thoughts. Notice if they're already making a to-do list for the day or if they're focused and centered here on your breath. Just notice. And then if it's okay for you, if it doesn't put too much strain on your neck, you can let your chin just gently drop towards your chest. And you can release the hands at this point if you wish. You can keep the eyes open or closed, your choice. And just breathe here and just let that chin drop towards your chest and just feel this nice, very subtle stretch in the back of your neck. If it's not a nice subtle stretch in the back of your neck and it actually feels uncomfortable, please just keep your neck in a nice neutral position and you can still breathe from here. And while we're taking this moment, whether your chin is towards your chest or whether it's in neutral, go ahead and set an intent for yourself for class today. Just something that you want to be thinking about that can act as an inspiration or an anchor for your thoughts or your feelings, or maybe it's a way that you are hoping to feel or think at the end of class. Just some kind of intent, some kind of reason for being here today. Allow your thoughts to focus on what that might be. Really hone in on that. whatever that intent is, and let it just seep into your being for our time here together. And then just when you're ready, bring that chin up to a neutral, and let's bring some warmth to our hands. We're going to spend our time here today finding ways, giving ourselves tools that help us release any stress we might be feeling in our body and in our mind throughout the day. Just some tools to sort of alleviate any of the tensions we might pick up. So once your hands are nice and warm, just go ahead and place them very lightly at the base of your skull, right where it meets your spine there, and just give a very slight squeeze and release. Just very nice. And just notice as you're doing this, is your breath steady? Is your jaw unclenched? And then notice how this feels for you. Does it feel like you're beginning to let go of some tensions that might have come up in your body? Some stiffness that might be there from overnight, or maybe you spent the morning in the garden, or maybe it's just one of those days where everything just feels tight. So let's just use this time and just begin to loosen that. There, all the way down to your shoulders. Give that a nice shake. So now let's do some breathing we're going to raise our shoulders up, so breathing in. And then release with an audible sigh, a nice, do that a couple more times. So a nice full breath in, really fill that diaphragm, fill the lungs. Bring those shoulders up as you do, a little higher, taking in a little more air, and then release it all. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in. Nice and full and complete. A little more. A little more. And release when you're ready. Oh, it feels so good. Let's do a little massage. I'm just going to start with my right hand on my left shoulder. And I'm reaching as far back as is comfortable for me, which is back by my shoulder blade. If you can reach back farther and you still feel comfortable, go for it. Or if that's a little bit too far back and you're feeling a bit of discomfort here, you can always just keep it like right here. That's fine too. Listening to what your body is telling you works for you today. And keep in mind that may be very different than what worked for you the last time we were together. Each day is different, and that's why we call it a practice, right? Because it's something that we just continue to do, to learn and to grow and to observe. Very nice around the shoulder, and let's do the other side. And this side may feel the same as the other side. It may feel different. Just notice what those differences are, what the similarities are, and how this makes you feel. Just nice, gentle squeezes, massaging it out, and around the shoulders, reaching as far back as you're comfortable. You can go behind the neck a little bit if you want. Checking in with your breath, making sure that's nice and steady and consistent. Very nice. A little shake here. And let's just rotate our neck. So we're going to inhale here. Exhale, looking out over your right shoulder, and I'll mirror you on this one. So we'll look over our right shoulder. Exhale. Bring it back to center with an inhale. And then exhale. One more time each side after this. At your own pace, but really consider the tempo of that pace. How fast is that? We want it to be a nice, luxurious turn here. Nice and slow. Really checking in with the breath. And release. Very nice. So speaking of our breath, let's check in with that. We'll do a nice little joy breath cycle. But before we do, we're just going to stretch out here. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, arms up as high as you're comfortable going. And just hold it here for a moment. We're going to breathe here. And just think about expanding that chest forward. You can give a little back bend here if it's okay for you. Breathing in again. And this time when you exhale, let those hands come to your sides. And then on the inhale here, just really letting that chest come forward, the chin can come up. And then exhale to center. And we're going to do that again. And if when I cue you to raise your chin, if that doesn't feel right for you, you can keep it in a neutral position. That's okay. So let's breathe in here, letting that chest come out, letting that chin come up, and just squeezing those shoulder blades back towards each other. Let's hold here for a couple of breaths, really just opening and expanding. And then exhale, release. Very nice. Let's do a couple joy breath cycles. So we're going to inhale here. Exhale forward, chin to chest. Inhale up as high as you're comfortable. Exhale, hands either down at your sides, or if you have a little bit left, you can squeeze back there. And then inhale back to the front. And then exhale to your heart. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale, front. Exhale, heart. One more time. And again, make this a nice leisurely breath. Take your time with it. We're here together. I'm not going anywhere for a little bit. So take your time. Nice full inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's stretch those legs out. We've been cross-legged for a little bit. Let's give them a little shake. You can turn them in and out like this. And when we're doing this one, make sure that it's from the hips. Think about doing it from the hips and not just this slight movement here. It's really these subtle movements that complete the big picture of what we're creating here for your body. Nice. Let's do some ankle rolls. Really get everything awakened here. So everybody's coming to the stretch and breath party, we'll call it. And then switch directions. Very nice. Going a little bit. And then we're going to stop this motion, and when we inhale, bring the feet up. And when we exhale, let them come forward. So inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. This time when we inhale up, think of the muscles in your calves, your thighs, your glutes, and squeeze them as you inhale up. So you're squeezing these, and these. Nice. And then release it all in the exhale. Great. Let's do it again. Inhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. A little more. And then exhale, release. Great. So this time when you squeeze, we're going to hold on the exhale. So there won't be a release on the exhale. We're going to squeeze even tighter. So let's breathe in, bringing intentional tension to our body. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And when you exhale, keep that squeeze. Squeeze a little more on the exhale. Squeeze, really feel those hamstrings behind your knees. Everything's squeezing. We're bringing tightness here. And then we're going to release it. 3, 2, 1, release. Feels really good on the release, right? Nice. All right, so from here, let's just do a little stretching. So let's come open here. And this is a point where if you do have a blanket, I'm going to be sitting on mine. I like it when my hips are up a little bit. It lets me get a really nice stretch in and I feel super safe and a little bit more comfortable. So we're just going to breathe here. And I have my feet flexed a little bit and my knees are just slightly bent. It's okay if you need to bend them even a little bit more. Or this could be an occasion if, let's say, left knee is talking to me today and is not happy with me. You could always do this, okay? Or whatever, if you needed it under both, you could do that too. It's so big. Whatever works for you is perfectly fine. So let's breathe in here. And as you exhale, just come forward a little bit. Not very much. Just leaning forward, hinging right here from your hip creases. And then as you inhale, come back up. And as you exhale, come forward a little bit further this time, maybe. And then inhale up. So we're really finding our position, prepping our body, and learning where it feels like, yeah, you know what, that's as far as I'm going to go. Or this time, maybe I can go a little further. It's up to you. So when you exhale, come down. And now it's choice time. You can round your back if you want and let that neck go. But if you are feeling a bit tender or vulnerable in that area, or you're feeling like just really the pressure is not comfortable for you in that area, then please don't round your back and go forward. You can just stay up here like this, or if you do have a handy dandy ginormal pillow, you can even just come forward here like this, okay? The safety of your body and how it feels for you is the most important element of this. So it does not matter if your nose touches the floor. It just matters that your body is in a position that's going to give it the best stretch available to you today. Okay, so you choose what that is, knowing your choices that I've given. And then just release into it. Breathing here. And if you feel comfortable on the exhale, you can crawl those fingers forward a little bit more if you want. Diving a little deeper in. And on your next inhale, let's gently walk it back. And you want to make sure that your head is the very last thing to come up. Just uncurl that spine. Roll the shoulders down. Adjust a little if you need to. We're going to take a breath here, and then I want you to twist towards your right leg. Just a little bit. We're going to inhale here. And exhale, just lean it in a little bit. And then inhale up. Find your space. And I'm finding that on this one I do need to adjust my little blanket here. Don't need it quite that thick. And then breathing here. Exhale forward. And when you have released here, again, your choices are the same here. You can keep your neck in a nice neutral straight position. You can round your back and release. If you are rounding and releasing, be mindful of this left hip and make sure that it's staying on the floor. You want to avoid this kind of twisting and lifting action. If you feel your body doing that, do a correction. Let your body shift. Okay, and then maybe don't go quite as deep. But if you are rounding, please just be mindful of that you want to avoid that lift in the left hip. Just breathe here, settling in. Feeling just a really nice stretch, probably in your right hamstring here. You may also feel a little bit right in here, that nice gentle stretch. Couple more breaths. And then on your inhale, we're going to slowly come up. Being mindful of that head again, making sure it's the last one to arrive to the straightening party. Nice. Adjust if you need to. We're going to turn to your left side. So inhale, twist just a little bit. Exhale, come forward. Note how that feels and tell yourself, yep, I could go further, or nope, I'm good. And then come back up. And then this time allow your body to go into the position that's most comfortable for you. And again, if you're rounding, make sure that this right hip is flush with the mat or with your blanket, whatever you're sitting on. As you breathe here. You might notice that one side feels a little tighter than the other, or you might notice that they both feel the same or equally loose or tight. So it's all good. Whatever your body is telling you is what we should listen to and work on. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, let's slowly walk it in. Very nice. Very nice. So let's bring it into table position. And so for table, just a quick safety check here. You want to make sure that your hip is above your knee, your shoulder and wrists are lined up, and you're giving yourself a nice wide base here, that lovely jazz hand. Okay, I'm going to go into a little cat-cow, and again, there's no rush. Just Take your time. This one feels so good on your lower back. So let's start with an exhale when you're ready. Tucking in, chin to chest. Curving that back up, dropping your pelvis. And then a nice slow inhale. All the way through the center, that nice little arch. Maybe a smile. And then exhale when you're ready, all the way through. Inhale. Don't forget the smiley part. And then exhale, tucking. I'm going to do one more full cycle. Inhale and exhale at your own pace. And then on your next inhale, just come to a neutral position here. Very nice. So from here, move this guy for a second. We might need him, so I'm going to put him right up here. It's apparently a guy. I've just said I might need him. I've named my pillow. So from here, we're going to do a little stretching with our body. So let's lean into your right hand just a little bit, and then take that left knee, lift it, and stretch that leg out. I'm going to flex my foot, and if this is too high for you, go ahead and let your toes touch the ground. That's okay too. But if you can, leave it. That's great. And now transfer so that weight is leaning into your left hand, and you're going to raise the right hand up and look forward. Little balance pose here. If you can raise that back leg up a little, that's great. If this is what feels good for you today, that's what you should do here, okay? Looking out over your fingertips, really feeling that nice stretch as you breathe. Beautiful. One more breath here. And then release. And let's take a minute, put those big toes together, come down into child's pose. Just relax that for a moment, breathing here. You can do a little rocking motion if you want, just to release. Or you can just hold steady here. Very nice. And on your next inhale, come back up, reset into table. We're going to do the other side. So lean a little bit into your left hand, just a little, so that that right leg can come out. And again, you can connect it with the floor. That's okay too. But if you can keep it up, go for that. Then you're going to transfer a little bit of the weight to the right hand. Let that left hand come up, looking out over your fingertips, and just breathe here. And you want to make sure your shoulders aren't hunched. You want to keep those shoulders nice and down, away from those ears. Keep that back leg up if you can, or nice and stretched if that's what you're doing. Whichever works for you. Breathing here. Flexing that foot if you want. If that doesn't feel good on the flex, you can keep it neutral. Breathing here. One more breath. And release. Ooh, good. Let's go back into child's pose just to release that little bit of stretch there. And then from here, let's come on up to seated position. Again, being mindful of your head. Adjust if you need to. Let's just roll the wrists. We've just spent a good amount of time on our wrists, and we want to send a little bit of love their way, right? Releasing. You can switch directions. And a little spirit fingers, jazz hands, whatever you want to call them. Very nice. And a little bit of shake, like you've got a little bit of water on them. Just shake them off, right? Very nice. So from here, we're going to go into just a little bit of a leg stretch, a little bit of a lunge. So we're going to come forward. I'm going to lift that right leg, and if you can, go ahead and just place it between your hands. If you need to help it with your hands, that's fine. And I will say, and then we're going to come up right here. This is where you could use a wall if you want. You could use a chair if you want. I was practicing on a hard surface earlier this morning, and this pose did not feel good on my knee because of that hard surface. So I just took my handy dandy blanket here and put it underneath my back knee, and that made a world of difference in my concentration because I was able to focus. So if you do feel a little bit of discomfort in that back knee, if you're practicing on a little bit of a harder surface, go ahead and put something underneath there. And from here, let's just do that position check. Take a look at your knee. Make sure it's aligned with your ankle here. Okay. I'm just going to let my hands rest on my knee for a moment to just sort of gather myself. Got my pelvis nice and strong and tilted here. Just holding on here and breathing. Bringing my hands to my heart center. And if you want to scoot it out a little bit and lean it down a little more for a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can. But if going back a little is your thing, that's okay too. It's your stretch. So however deep you feel like you want to go with this. Just one more breath here. And on your next breath, just let your hands come back to the mat. And whatever way is comfortable for you, you're just going to release that foot. I'm going to shift my little blanket here. And then we're going to come through with the left side or the other side, whichever one you didn't do before. So just lifting that knee, bringing my foot through on a step. And again, if you have a wall handy as you come up, or whatever you need to make this a comfortable shift for you. Come on up. Make sure that your knee is above your ankle. You want to still be able to say hi to those toes. Okay? And again, you can deepen the stretch if you want. You can adjust here and make it go a little bit deeper, or you can stay back. Your call. I'm going to put my hands at my heart here. And actually, I'm going to shift a little bit. You do want to make sure that your back toes are flat on the ground. Breathing here. And just thinking about your glutes, making sure they're nice and tight, that pelvis is tilted, everything in here is protected and strong. Everything here is protected and strong. Breathing. Hands are at your heart center. Sending just a little bit of love, loving kindness to your own body in this pose. Sending yourself some goodwill. And then on your next breath, we're going to undo. Coming back. And then from here, we are going to go to a standing pose. So if you would like to do a down dog, you can. I'm just going to step forward and slowly unwind. Very nice. Very, very nice. So coming to I'm just in the center of my mat here. My feet are just about hip width apart. I'm just going to take a second here, roll my shoulders, get things nice and settled. And then take a nice deep breath in. Shoulders are down and separated, teeth are unclenched, my knees are soft, right? They're not locked. And I'm just going to exhale here. Let's do that again. Inhale up. And this time when I exhale, I'm going to let my right hand come to my side, and I'm just going to follow it with my body. So I'm just leaning a little bit. My shoulders are down, and I'm going to look towards my left arm. And just breathe here. Think about my knees. They're not locked. I'm not holding my breath. I'm just breathing here. My hands are nice and relaxed. You can even have your hand on your hip if you want. And then on your next inhale, bring it back up. And release. Good, let's inhale up. Exhale, this time you're going to let your left hand go down and your body's going to tilt with it. And you want to think about this front arm. You want to make sure that it's not leaning too far forward, right? And not too far back. You want to just right kind of scenario here. And just looking towards your arm if it's okay for you, and just breathing here, really feeling that nice stretch. My knees are soft. One more breath here. And on my next inhale, I'm going to bring it up and then release on an exhale. Feels nice. Let's take a moment after that in mountain pose. So I'm going to put my big toes together here. If that's not comfortable for you, if you're feeling a little unsteady in that position and it's more your style to have them a little farther apart, please do that. Whichever foot position you're choosing, let's go ahead and just have your hands relaxed here. You can close your eyes if it's okay and just take stock. Notice how firmly planted your feet are on your mat and what that feels like. Notice the texture of your mat under your toes. Breathing in and out. Noticing the muscles of your legs. Noticing your hips. Your breath, your heartbeat. Just noticing, and do your best not to judge yourself in this moment. Just notice how everything feels. I was reminded this morning that the words that we tell ourselves are the words that we tell others. So really give yourself this moment to think about being kind to yourself. Sending yourself appreciation for what we can do today. Even if it's different than what we could do yesterday. I know what I can do today. And let's just take this noticing with us as we move into Warrior Two. So I'm giving myself a nice wide stance here, as wide as you're comfortable. And I'm going to turn my left foot in just a little bit. I will say if that turn in does not feel right for your knee or feels just really off for your body, please don't do it. It's okay. You can keep your foot straight too. I want to make sure that you are being mindful of that if you do have some tenderness in your knees. And then you're going to turn this right foot out. And you want to take a look, bend the knee. Now inhale, and then bend. It's opposite day, right? Bend your knee on the exhale. Check out your position, make sure that it's above your ankle, and then inhale one more time. And then this time, let your arms come out, keep your shoulders down and separated right, nice and strong and steady, looking out over those fingertips. And if you squeeze right in here, squeeze your pelvis, squeeze your glutes, you're going to feel so strong. And you can adjust if you need to. If you need to go a little deeper, or if too deep is not great, you want to bring it in a little, you can do that too. Find your warrior, right? Find your warrior, friends. Should be our motto. Find your warrior. Breathing here. Nice and strong. And then on your next inhale, flip that palm up and let's reverse it. And only go as deep into this back bend as you feel comfortable. If this is where you're comfortable, this is where you should be. If you want to go back a little more, great. Breathing here, I'm looking up at my fingertips. One more breath here. And then we're going to transition into a nice side stretch. So I'm going to let my forearm relax just above my knee. I'm going to make sure that my chest is out, my hips are forward towards the front. I'm going to bring this arm all the way over and stretch, as if this hand is reaching for that far wall, right? And I want to make sure that I'm not leaning too far forward here. I want to make sure that my chest is out, nice and open. You might feel your body making some adjustments for you in this position. That's great. Just listen to it. Breathing here. Nice and strong. One more breath here. And then we're going to inhale, bring it up. Exhale, release the arm. Just do a little reset. Let's do some shoulder rolls. You can do one at a time. Yeah. There you go. Switch directions. Just working out whatever we need to work out, right? Okay, let's go to the other side. So again, with this foot, which may feel completely different than the other side did, turning it in to a little bit of an angle, letting my left foot come out at a 90-degree angle pretty much. And then I'm going to inhale and bend, do my check. Is my knee over my ankle? I'm going to exhale and straighten again. Get things situated, see how that back leg feels. And then bend again. Check in with my body. How is it? I needed to make an adjustment here, right? Felt a little off center. So you want to make sure that you feel centered, because if you feel centered and you feel strong, you will be centered and strong. That's how it works. Find your warrior, right? So bending here, arms up, shoulders down and relaxed, teeth unclenched, looking out over your fingertips, and breathing here. Nice and steady. One more breath here like this. And on your next inhale, let that palm face the ceiling and do a little bit of a reverse. Bring a little peace to your warrior here. You found your warrior. You're holding on to your warrior. And you're opening your warrior heart. And then on your next exhale, you're going to side stretch. So let the forearm come to the knee. Make sure everything is nice and forward facing. Let that arm come over. It's okay for you. You can keep it on the hip. If you want to keep it on the hip, that's perfect. If you want to raise it up and look up, you can. Breathing here. One more breath like this. And on your next inhale, bring it up. And on your next exhale, release. Very nice. All right, let's head back down to the floor. We'll do a little bit more breathing, and then we'll go into everybody's favorite moment, Shavasana. Okay, so let's inhale up. I'm going to let my arms float down. Bending my knees. Sit your hands behind your knees here. Bring everybody up. Oops, I'm going to hide behind my bed apparently. And let's just do a little sacral massage. Make sure everything feels good and relaxed. A great way to release tension that we've been holding in our hips and in our back. Reverse directions here. All of these little tools you're giving yourselves. And let's stop that motion. We're going to exhale, bring your knees a little closer. And inhale, guide them away. Exhale, closer. Inhale away. Exhale. Inhale. This time when you exhale, also let your chin come up a little bit. Raise your head. Keep your chin in a neutral position, but as if it's heading towards those knees. And then on the inhale, release. So exhale, let everything come up. Inhale, guide it away. One more time like that. Inhale up. Exhale up. Sorry. Told you it must be opposite day. Inhale away. Nice. Let your feet come to the mat. Arms out to your sides if you can. And we're going to inhale here. Exhale, let your knees drop to the right. Inhale, bring them to the center. And exhale to the left. Inhale up. Exhale right. And you can let your head turn the opposite direction as well. Inhale up. Exhale left. One more time each side like this, and then we're going to hold it there in a nice little twist. Inhale up. So last time to the right, exhale. Inhale, center. And exhale, left. This time when we exhale to the right, we're going to hold there. So just let your knees come towards the floor. You can let your head turn in the opposite direction. And you really want to think about keeping your shoulders solidly on the floor or the mat, whatever your practicing space is. And just breathe here. your next inhale, bring the knees up. Exhale, let your knees go to the left, let your head go to the right, and think about keeping those shoulders nice and steady, firm on your floor. On your next inhale, bring those knees up. We are going to get ready for Shavasana. But before we do, let's come up into a seated cross-legged. I'm just going to do a little spine rock. Just rocking on my spine. You can come up in any way that feels good for you. Okay? So let's just take a moment here. We are going to get ready for our Shavasana. Let's just think about how everything feels. And let's just take a minute here. Just give a little attention to our neck. One more chance to release here. I'm holding the back of my neck like the scruff of my neck. We're just going to give quick little head nods. Yes, my shoulders are down, my teeth are unclenched. We're just saying yes. Yes to everything that life brings. Yes. And then a little quick nose. No, I will not let my frustration cloud my day. Things like that. And release, and let's do the other hand. Just really quick yeses. Yes, yes, yesity yes. Really gentle head nods, almost just like a little bob. Very nice. And then nose. Nose are okay too. We're turning those nose into something that's good for us. It's okay to say no. And release. Nice. So before we lay down in Shavasana, we'll do a little breath work together. You're going to hold your hand on your abdomen, and your other hand can just be relaxed on your knee. We're going to breathe in for a count of 4 and hold it. And then release for a count of 4. So let's breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and hold. And release. 2, 3, 4, hold. Release. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, and hold. And release. 2, 3, 4, hold. And release. And one more time like that, and we're going to change it up just a little bit. So breathing in. 2, 3, 4, hold. And release. 2, 3, 4, hold. Release. So this time we're going to breathe in for 4, but we're going to release for 6. Okay, so we're going to breathe in. 2, 3, 4, hold. And release for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Release. Again, breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Release. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And release. Very nice. So now we are at our favorite moment of class, Shavasana. So one thing that I have discovered over the last few weeks is that I really like having a couple of things. I like having a little blanket underneath my hips. So you can do that if you like that little bit of comfort. Or I also tend to like a little extra something under my knees some days. Not every day, but some days it feels really nice and I just feel so relaxed in a different way when I come out of Shavasana. So if you want to try that today, or if you do have a little bit of discomfort in the hips or the knees, you can try using a big old pillow like this guy here and just releasing down and then making sure it's nice and comfortable for you, that it's in a place that feels good, right? And you can keep your legs up or you can release them down. Whatever you choose, it's your Shavasana, so you should be in a position that works best for you. We're just going to get your body nice and comfortable here. And just breathe. Taking off eyeglasses if you choose. Letting your eyes close if you choose. Thinking about your shoulders and letting those shoulder blades come together on your mat. And just breathing here. Noticing that steady, even rise and fall of your abdomen. And giving yourself permission to relax in this moment. Feed yourself with kind words. The words we use on ourselves are the words we use for others. In this moment, I can relax. And when we allow ourselves to focus on the kindness and the positive within, focus on what we can do today, what we can do in this moment. And take note of each part of your body and note what it can do. I can relax my feet. I can soften my knees. I can allow my thighs to relax. I can allow my breath to be steady. I can release any tension in my shoulders and hands. I can soften my jaw. I can smooth my eyes. I can smooth my brow. I can I can. I can allow my entire body to release, to be comfortable in this space. I can release any thoughts that are no longer helpful to me. I can release any feelings of negativity towards myself. I can welcome the kindness, the peace, and the love that lives within. I can smile. I can let this smile live in every part of my being. With every breath, I can. With every breath in, say to yourself, breathing in, I can smile. Breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I can feel calm. Breathing out, I can smile. Breathing in, I can feel calm. Breathing out, I can smile. Cultivated these feelings of calm, kindness towards yourself and others. Let these feelings sensations go with you through your day today. And notice the impact on others as you greet each moment of the day with a sense of calm and a smile. And always saying to yourself, in this moment, I can. In this moment, I can. And begin to allow movement in your body. Notice any sounds or sensations in the room. You can begin wiggling your toes, opening and closing your hands. And just very gradually let your body stretch and move. You can open your eyes if they were closed. And nice big stretches, bringing your knees into your body and rocking from side to side. And then when you get to whatever side feels like your strongest side today, roll all the way over and just hold there for one more moment, letting your body absorb the benefits of our practice here today. And then very carefully bring yourself up into seated cross-legged pose. Hands to your heart center. Give yourself a moment here and reflect on what your intent was for class today. And notice how you feel and where you are with that intent. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.